Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, hump day, woo woo, April 27th. Here's a look at our futures, a little bit of a bounce, and I'm calling it just that, a bounce. We've had a lot of earnings, right? If you look at the earnings, go to the earnings whisper. If you look in the email or if you're in the website, I posted it this morning. There are so many earnings plays out this morning. We had a bunch last night, and we saw that Google got, woo, yeah, not looking good there. Microsoft, however, came in and did pretty well. We also saw that, we had a lot of names pushed down yesterday. Obviously, it was a very rough day. The CNBC is calling it the tech wreck, and that's pretty much what it seems to be. And we'll see if we just get a bounce out of it here today. We have a ton more earnings, right? So we're looking at like 100 plus earnings before and after the bell through tomorrow, tomorrow's close, where we get, we'll have Apple, we'll have Amazon, all of these really big names get out there. Right now, looks like Microsoft is up just shy of 4%, up about $10 from the earnings. So we'll see if that sticks and holds, or if we end up selling that off, which is what we've seen. No matter how great earnings might seem to be, that is kind of the way it goes. And then of the big FANG names, really only Amazon is showing any kind of life here. So just be very cautious. Again, we have Apple earnings tomorrow. We have Amazon. A lot of those really big names, big names. So check out the earnings calendar, and if you're going to play them, just know where you're going to sit on those. Okay, a little Twitter news out. Apparently, Elon has increased his stake in Twitter. Also, we know that as long as it gets approved, that he will be taking it over. I swear, that is all that was on the news yesterday. I'm so tired. I'm glad the story came out. Now I'm tired of it. I'm ready for it to move on. We have FOMC next week, so be sure to watch for that too. We are in a Fed blackout, basically. The week before the meeting, they don't go out and speak. So that's good. At least we get a break of that from that. Okay, so anyway, here's our futures. Like I said, a little bit of bounce. Looks like an inside candle here. Yesterday, that was just such a big candle after. This looked like it could have been setting up a nice reversal. We had good volume in this the day on Monday, but then came in yesterday, sold it off. Again, good volume. What we're going to watch for now is, do we continue to press up? Is this a higher low for the day? We don't know. We have so much going on. We did end up filling some gaps. So we are, and using this lower trend line here. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one in. So I drew in these trend lines. They are much longer term trend lines. So we're going to see if we hold on to those. And I will adjust these Fibonacci lines to include that low of yesterday. Okay. So oil not really doing anything here this morning. You just going through the commodities. Gold putting in a little tail, maybe a little reversal signal here in gold. We'll keep an eye on that. We aren't seeing a huge flight to safety, which is interesting. Also, when we look across the board, the bear market, a lot of times we find safety in some pockets, like maybe consumer staples or industrials or utilities, and we're really not seeing that right now. We're not seeing a flight to safety, which is a pretty big signal of the overall bear trend that we are in right now. But still, I will caution you that if you go out and pull these charts out, kind of get a little bit bigger of a picture. Although we are, we've definitely come down. It looks like we've peaked the mountain and now we're coming down the back side of it. There is some decent support coming up, and maybe we just chop sideways for a while. With inflation, the bear market and more recessionary fears are out there, and self-fulfilling prophecy, if we keep talking about it as much as every analyst is talking about it, we're probably just going to make it true anyway. But again, when I talked about this yesterday, this back here, this drop was done to us. This we're doing to ourselves. There are outside pressures. There's supply chain issues. China and their constant shutdowns not making things easier, but for the most part, we have not handled the reopening and the supply-demand issue very well. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Okay, but there are, like I said, there are always some pockets. There's always a few gems out there, so let's take a few take a look at a few. So I am looking at IBM. This one did have, oh, let's put this back on the daily chart. This one did have earnings, beautiful push up off those earnings. And now we've kind of sold some of that off, but held a majority of it, came right back in here to a fib line. Looking for a reversal here in IBM. I'm watching, we're pushing out to June now, so I'm watching the 140 calls with an entry at 139, stopping at 136.15. Again, just strong earnings and high target there of 142.20, which would then put us into more of a breakout mode. All right, J&J, we've talked about this one actually several times. We go up, take a break, up, take a break, up, a little bit of a break here. We'll see if this gives us a nice move on. We also, this candle was inside the previous day candle, so we're taking a play off of that. I like the 185 calls. I'm looking at 186.57 and targeting that 186.69, so that's really close, and then a breakout. Zen. So this one's just a really pretty move into, oh, you know what? I had that set up. I did not. See, you have to check earnings. They will be reporting after the bell, but I'll tell you what, on a day trade, this is a beautiful squeeze. This came up on the 3820 scan. This is this morning, so it came out this morning, and looking really good here. I like the look of Zendesk, so maybe just as a day trade for Zen, in which case I had the 617 130s, but I would probably go ahead and pull those back to the May 20th ones. A lot of more bearish setups. We just talked about this tech wreck. AMD going into earnings. It is down here at a potential support level, but looking definitely more bearish. PayPal has not been able to catch any kind of love in a very long time, so I would take a look at that one. If you look at that one, you might as well go ahead and look at Square. Square, if it moves down just a little bit here, we're going to give up what's left of support and probably make a nice little move down. Etsy tried to come up a little bit. That's actually an inside candle, but still looks like more downside pressure on Etsy. NVAX, so this one too just can't seem to catch a break, can't get over the 8, and until it does, I see more downside pressure in this one. A lot of downside pressure plays, much more than the upside. However, there are still, like I said, pockets. Travel is still well on my list. We've had a few day pullback, but look at this beautiful bull flag setup. So keep a watch on DAL, UAL. LUV a little bit more congested in here. So I like UAL and DAL better. All right, that is it for me here this morning. We'll continue to watch those earnings and play the volatility. If you have any questions, please reach out. Heather C. at GivingTreeTrading.com.